Welcome back to the EP Sports Zone. I'm Abby Hooven, sports editor of the Eastern Progress, and I'm here with my co-host, Zach Weston.
How you doing, Abby?
I'm doing great. We've had a busy week of sports, and I'm looking forward to another strong week of play.
Yeah, busy's the optimal word there. So let's start with women's basketball. On Wednesday, we played Jacksonville and lost by 17. Bria Bass led the way for us, 11 points and 5 rebounds. Kalissa Lacey chipped in 9 points, and Alice got 8 points and 3 assists. We shot 39% from the field, 33% from the three-point line, and made 8 free throws.
Yeah, we talked about last episode. Jacksonville only shoots 15 threes and they make 4. They went 9 for 22. That's an above average game for them. Meanwhile, we're shooting 6 of 18. That's not ideal, but we went 3 of 14 in the first quarter, so they started out hot, came out, put up 20 points in the first quarter. We were already down 10.
Yeah, the game plan was to let them shoot, and shoot they did. They shot a lot of threes, and they dropped. So credit to them. Kind of, we're at a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation there. That's kind of what we had to load up on and what we were cool with giving away. But as soon as we went to check out on three-pointers, they immediately went into the paint. We got outscored by 12, and if you've been listening to us talk about the women, that's their big thing, is dominating in the paint, getting fouled, offensive rebounds, and Jacksonville really took it to us. We were kind of playing down from the start.
Right. We got back. We cut the lead to 5 with 4:37 in the third, and then they led as many as 20 with 2 minutes remaining. So it just kind of seems like we'll get close, and then they'll kick off another run.
Yeah, we have a hard time coming down from leads. If we get down more than like 10 or 12, we have a hard time pushing through that. On the flip side of that, Saturday versus Lipscomb, we beat them 82-69. We had 5 players scoring double digits. We at the end of the second quarter, like the opposite of what our men's team usually does, at that point, we kicked out a big lead. That's a real strength of the women's team, is finishing quarters strong. A 14-6 run got us going up 12 into the half, and while we struggle at coming back from leads, we never give them up. So we got it 2-12 at the end of the second quarter, and it never got closer than 13 in the second half. Bria had 10 and 12. Alia Green was a perfect 6 of 6 from the field and chipped in 12 points. She was great just working around the basket and just giving us efficient scoring opportunities. Off the bench, Ariel Kirkwood led us in scoring with 16 points and also grabbed 8 rebounds. That's huge contribution to get when you're trying to get a big win.
Yeah, she was the star. She kind of led the way there, and we out-rebounded them by 12. So we kind of won just by being the more physical team there, getting on the boards, getting down low, and getting really tough shots in the paint, and we were getting them to fall this time.
Yeah, we shot 29 free throws. That's a ton. We made 23. We dominated physically, and that's the story. I mean, if you compare the Jacksonville and the Lipscomb games, the difference is our physicality and how we imposed our will. And that's kind of the story of this team. If we can get in and assert ourselves, we're usually in good shape. The trouble is when teams are able to kind of punch with us, and then it really tests us to see if we have the firepower to push back. But with Ariel playing so well off the bench after this game, and if she can maintain that, we've got another gun in the holster, and that should really help bolster us as we move into the conference tournament.
We've got 4 games left in the regular season. We've got North Alabama coming to town on Thursday at 5 p.m. They're second in the West. They're 5 and 6 in the ASUN, and they're first in free throw percentage, and they're second in threes made and attempted in the ASUN. But we played them back in January, and we lost only by 2 points in double overtime. So it was a pretty even matchup there. Bria Bass in that game had 18 points and 18 rebounds. I mean, that's just a monster game, and she's got to do that again for this team to pull out a win there.
Yeah, she's got to play big, and we really need to get that win. That would be huge for seeding in the tournament. After that, Central Arkansas, we play them. They're 5th in the West. For that game, we just have to do our job, assert ourselves physically, just play sound, and we'll get a win there. After that, we go to Jacksonville State. They're 1st in the West. That's a huge game for seeding, assuming we beat North Alabama. Like, there a lot of marbles going to that one. We're really playing for something. So that one will be really important to win as well.
Lastly, we've got Bellarmine. They're dead last in the East.
Dead last in the conference.
Yeah. We've got a good shot to come out with at least 2 wins, ideally 3, hopefully 4, but we want to avoid the top 3 teams in the conference. We don't want to end up playing Liberty or Florida Gulf Coast in the second round of the ASUN tournament if we can help it.
Yeah, if we can get good seeding and just get some momentum going, it's really good getting to play Bellarmine at the very end of the schedule. That's a really good tune-up game moving in, and hopefully we can just get confidence and then start rolling as we get to the tournament. So some positives. Everyone makes the ASUN tournament, so we're not worried about qualifying, and even if we were, we would have, but nothing to worry about that. It tips off March 2nd, right around the start of March Madness. We're 3rd in the West Division right now, so if the season ended today, we would play the 6th-seeded team in the East, which is North Florida. Now, the winner of that would get Florida Gulf Coast, who is 2nd in the East right now. We want to avoid that, if at all possible. It would be so huge to finish the season up 1, 2nd in the West, because that would give us a little more control of our own destiny.
And Florida Gulf Coast, they've been on a roll lately, but Stetson pulled out a win against them the other day. So now Liberty and Florida Gulf Coast are kind of tied for that top position. It'll be interesting to see who wins out in the end.
Yeah, I would, thinking about those, say we stayed 3rd, and we ended up, and we'd win our first game, and then we're drawing 2 in the East. I would much rather that be Liberty than Florida Gulf Coast. Florida, they've got some pop in their offense, and if they're rolling, I'm not sure there's a team that can, in the conference, that can really check them. So let's hope that Liberty loses some more, so we can get them and then avoid Florida Gulf Coast for as long as possible. So looking closer to what we're doing, on the 17th, we go play North Alabama at home. They're 2nd, as we've said. They shoot a lot of threes. They make a lot of threes. You might be concerned after how we covered the 3 against Jacksonville, but I wouldn't be worried. That was a scheme thing, and we'll come out today, or the 17th, committed to stopping threes.
Yeah, we got Central Arkansas on Saturday. We shot 40% against them last time. We scored 27 points off their turnovers, but they forced 20 turnovers on us and 12 steals. So we've got to be able to limit those turnovers, make our shots, and I think we'll be just fine.
Yeah, can't do that. Can't give an inferior team hope. That's the most dangerous thing in a basketball game. If a team gets hope, they can beat pretty much anybody. So, again, let's just do our job. Let's not beat ourselves, and we'll set ourselves up well to get going into the conference.
We've got men's basketball coming up this week too, but looking back, Wednesday against Jacksonville, we had another loss, 81-68. Kurt Lewis kind of led the way with 14 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists.
Told you. He's that guy. What can you say? I mean, he's starting to kick into gear a little bit. Having him strong as we go into the tournament is huge. He does so much as a mismatch guy when he's on. 9 rebounds from a guard position. He plays so big. He lets us get away with going small, and that's huge. Cooper Robb chipped in 14, a good showing from him. His offense has been up and down throughout the year, so it's good to see him put another good showing in. Rashard had 11, and Jamaru had 10. So some balanced scoring, but, I mean, I think the story had to be Bryce Workman from Jacksonville.
25 points.
Yeah, he was...
It's hard to overcome from one guy.
Yeah. He set his career high by, I think, 7 points, and that. So he went nuts. You know, Jacksonville shot 56.9% from the field, 40% from 3. They only made 6 threes. They shot 15. So their 2-point field goal percentage was in the 60s. I mean, that you're not going to win if you're doing that. Oh, and to boot, they made all their free throws, 17-17. So that was really difficult. And how'd we shoot in that game?
You know, we were 9 of 35 from 3, and we went 3 for 17 in the second half alone. This team lives and dies by the 3, and shooting 9 of 35 when the other team's shooting 57% overall from the field, it's not looking favorable for those guys in that area.
Yeah, we shot 26 of 73 overall, so it wasn't just the missed threes that were hurting us. We shoot a lot of threes. That's a part of the offense, and I'm not gonna bemoan us going 9 of 35, but 2-point field goals in the half court. That's really where we're struggling. And as we talk about against Lipscomb, the half court offense the stagnation is what's proving to be an issue. We scored 19 points off turnovers. Jacksonville only had 4. We only got outscored in the paint by 8, but I mean, you can't go in on the road and shoot that poorly and expect to come out with a win.
What's hard too is Jacksonville hadn't lost at home all season. We're now 1-10 on the road. Already not having the home court advantage kind of messes with them a little bit, you might think, but I thought we had a good shot, and our shots didn't fall, and theirs did.
Yeah, so when you're playing, one of my old coaches told me this: your offense might not travel, but your defense has to come with you, and you can always bring it with you. And that didn't happen on the road. If you're letting a team score 83 points, odds are you're not going to win. So as we move into the home stretch, we have to recommit to getting stops. Our offense doesn't work if we're not getting stops. The way we want to play, we want to outshoot you, meaning we want to shoot more times than you. We want to have an overwhelming lead on field goals attempted. We want to turn you over. We want to get a lot of defensive rebounds, close out possessions, which is something we're really struggling with. Teams are killing us on second and third chance points. So as we move down the home stretch, we've really got to figure out and start shoring things up on the defensive end.
Saturday against Lipscomb, we lost 83-73, but on the bright side, Jamar Brown had 18 points, and it seems like he's getting back to where he was before his injury.
Yeah, he's back. I'll say that unequivocally. He's figured it back out. He's a big ISO scorer for us. Now, sometimes that we want the ball to fly around, and that's usually when we're at our best. But come tournament time, when games slow down and they get more physical, and it's just not as pretty, having a guy that you can throw to and say, go score, that's really helpful. And he's going to be very important as we move into this tournament and try to make a run. Surprisingly, Lipscomb, who's a very half-court team, outscored us 18-2 on fast break points. If we score 2 fast break, that's just most of our offense comes out of fast breaks. So if we're only scoring 2, that's just not ideal. We went into the first half down 6. That's a really good spot to be in on the road. We actually closed the half out really well. It got up to 12, and we chipped it back down to 6. It's a great spot to be, but we came out flatter than a Coke that had sat out on a counter for like a week. I mean, we came out so flat, they kicked it out to 12, and we never got back in it. Shot 39% on 2-point field goals. Again, it's not just threes that are the problem. Our 2-point efficiency has really cratered in the last few games, and you can get away with that at home, but on the road, you don't need to score a ton, but you have to be efficient, and we just didn't do that.
Yeah, we let Lipscomb get too many good looks at the threes. They're only shooting 35% on the year. They were 10 points above that on Saturday, so not exactly getting the stops on the threes that we needed. And when our offense is kind of slowing down, we need our defense to pick up, and it didn't seem like that was the case.
Yeah, talking about offense too, we only had 10 assists. 10 assists. We scored 73 points, and we had 10 assists. A lot. So we were stagnant. We never had much outside of Mike coming out and sneaking a 3 off, and that's getting increasingly harder for him to do as teams are seeing that in the half court we don't really have a ton right now. So teams are starting to really load up on Mike, and we're not getting the same sort of action on screens. They're just switching it to him, and then without Jansen, which we'll talk about in a little bit, it's hard for us to like throw into the big on that switch that you get when they switch that screen for Mike to pop out. So we don't have that, so they're just taking that action out. So really we end up going into just ISO ball, and that's not conducive to getting a win on the road. Some positives. This has been a negative few minutes. As we talked about before, Jamaru's back, 100%. He's last couple games, his slashes, he's back to where he was pre-injury, pretty much identical, and he's chipping in a little more passing. He had 5 of our 10 assists against Lipscomb, so he's adding that to his game too, which I really like to see because we're struggling for an answer at point with Braxton out. So Jamaru's kind of trying to fix that, which is really good. And then Kurt Lewis is coming into form. He had another good game against Lipscomb, so he's playing strong too. What do you got on that?
Kurt Lewis is gonna be a big factor when it comes down the stretch. He's putting up big points lately. He's getting physical, getting those rebounds that we need, and he provides that spark almost. When we need a shot or two, it seems like each time he steps up and he's got it. Michael's got it, Kurt's got it, Jamaro's got it. I mean, all these guys can step up and make the big shots. It's just, what's the defense giving you, and who's got the hot hand on that day?
Yeah, that's the funny thing. It's just I haven't felt like in a game this year everyone's been on. Jamar will have a good game. Mike won't have a good game. If Coop plays well, Kurt's not playing well. And I feel like we have to find a way to balance that out and just get a great contribution from like 8 different guys. You know, not having Jansen's really hurting. Our big rotation is out of whack. Mike's having to play like a step up. He's having to bruise a little more, and he's only 6'6", so he's having to work a little harder and on defense, and that's showing in his offensive efficiency. He's struggling to keep up a little bit, which you understand. And then we've got Reek and Wardy both playing like a half step up. Ideally, you want to bring Reek in as sort of a contrast guy. He's going to come in and rough stuff up and block shots and rebound and be an enforcer. And you want to give him like 16 to 20 minutes to really assert himself. And ideally, you want him doing that on the bench big because he's so strong, and usually it's easy for him to do his power post-up stuff. You know, he's not trying to be Hakeem Olajuwon. He just gets it, turns, and shoots. So with him having to go against, like, more solid defensive centers in the starting unit, that's tough on him because he's still improving as a post scorer, and he's not fully there yet. And with him playing the starters, you've got Wardy coming in, and ideally Wardy's going to give you 5 or 6 minutes of wow play. He's going to do some crazy stuff, make some stuff happen, and if you're getting him longer than that, well, he's a junior college guy. He's still new to Division I college basketball. Teams will start picking at him a little bit because he's not fully up to speed with the game yet. So if we can get Jansen back and like fix our rotation a little bit, I think that would help on defense.
Well, we've got 4 games to finish out the season and kind of right the ship, as we might say. We've got North Alabama coming up on Wednesday at home at 7:30, and then we hit the road again to Central Arkansas on Saturday the 19th.
Yeah, we have to win them all at this point. You know, North Alabama, they're last in the West. We have to win that, not just as a matter of pride or like we're better than them, we got to win. Like for seeding, we're closer to North Alabama than we are Jacksonville State. So we have to win that, protect home court, get that going. We go to Central Arkansas. They're 3rd in the West. It would be huge to beat them. Now, it's going to be hard to jump from 5th to 3rd with 4 games left. That'd take a little bit of an implosion from Central Arkansas, but 4th is still in play. And even moving up a spot would be really helpful in doing this. So after Central Arkansas, we go play Jacksonville State away. They're 1st in the conference. That's going to be a really tough game. We got to win it. Where the path to the national tournament, NCAA tournament, does not go through McBrayer. We're going to have to win on the road. So go to Jacksonville State, get a road win, get some confidence. That needs to happen. And then we welcome Bellarmine at home. And that's such a great test. Coach Davenport there, you know, they run that weird, we only pass, don't dribble motion offense. So it's unfortunate that we have to go into the ASUN tournament prepping for something like that. But a win there would be such a huge confidence boost. It's not over yet. You know, we can easily win 4 games and then go on a run. We've done it before. It wouldn't be surprising, but we've really got to buckle down and try to ride it.
The positive, we don't have to worry about not making the tournament. Everyone makes it, and right now we'd be seeded 5th in the West, which means we would be playing the 4-seeded team in the East, which at this point is Kennesaw State.
We're better than them, 100%. Yeah, but, we beat them and then go play Jacksonville State. And as we just said, it's a tough game. So we got to do our best to avoid that. Just like with the women, we need to try our best to avoid as late as possible Jacksonville State, Liberty, and Bellarmine. They're going to be tough outs. They all have NCAA tournament hopes, and they know that they've got to win. They got to win the tournament. They got to win our tournament to get there. So we want to avoid them as long as possible.
But before we even get to the tournament, we've got to get through this week.
Yeah,
we've got to get through North Alabama. They're last in the West. They're shooting about 39% from field goal. They have one of the lowest three-point percentages in the ASUN. And when we played them back in January, we only lost by a point. We lost on a pair of free throws. So what's going to be key there?
So against North Alabama, we cannot let them shoot any better than what they're slashing. We can't do it. Like I was talking about with being efficient on the road, we can't let North Alabama come in and be efficient on the road. We've got to shake it up from them. Forced turnovers. They only average 10 assists a game, which is low. Forced turnovers, keep them uncomfortable, and then figure out a way to score in the half court. North Alabama's really not great at half court defense. They're really sound in transition. They're like a sound team. They rebound well. They play solid offense, but we could use this game to figure out how we're scoring in the half court, and that'll be huge. But overall, just limit our turnovers, turn them over, and play defense. Don't let them have any hope. Cover it from start to finish.
And we've got to get at least Jamaru, if not 3-4 guys, really rolling on offense. That way, if one guy's not hitting, we've got 3 or 4 already up, ready to go.
Yeah, so on Saturday, we go play Central Arkansas. They're 3rd in the West. They're 8-16, 5-6 in the ASUN. They score 73 points a game, shoot 43% from the field, but only 30% from 3. They make 75% of their free throws.
They're a good offensive rebounding team, though. Last time we played them, they had 11, but we outdid them with 18. So it's not out of the ordinary for us to be picking up more offensive rebounds, but that is one of their strengths. And, last time we played them, we lost by 7. We didn't have Braxton or Jansen, but we shot 8 of 33 from deep.
Yeah, so what we're going to need to do is make some shots, obviously, but we're going to need to figure out how to get some production out of our big guys. That's Reek, that's Wardy, that's Mike inside. We need to, for this game, establish something in the paint. Anything. Literally anything at all. Whether it's like backdoor cuts to get a layup, whether it's post touches, if it's screen and roll lobs for Wardy, we've got to get something out of the big guys that isn't Mike sneaking out and shooting threes. In this game especially. That goes for the whole season. Figuring out how to get efficient offense, and a lot of that is your big guys. But for this game, for us to win, we got to get the big guys involved because they'll happily go shot for shot with our perimeter guys. So for me, if it were me, I would just want to try to get Reek going, try to get Wardy going, maybe try to get Mike some. He's pretty skilled down there. Try to get him some switches on a smaller guy and let him work a little bit. Just anything to give us like an anchor in the half court that we can go to and get consistent offense. We do that, and I think we'll have a good shot.
Well, we've also got a big softball weekend coming up. We started the season this past weekend at the Northern Lights, Southern Lights Invitational down in Florida. It was a tough weekend for the team. They went 0 for 5, but they were playing against some top Big Ten schools and the number 23 team in the country. So it wasn't that they played bad. It wasn't that they just weren't good enough. It's just their competition level was above average in a lot of ways.
Yeah, we're punching up a few weight classes there, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's good to go early and kind of get beat up a little bit, get accustomed to playing that. Big Ten's a very good softball conference, and all the teams we played were very high level. So we might have started 0-5, but there's nothing really wrong about that. We started against Iowa, lost 7-2, which it's not great. Go to Wisconsin, lose 12-2. That's even worse. Lost to Pitt 7-1, but then we calmed down a little bit. We got more accustomed to it, and we only lost to Penn State and Northwestern 4-0. That's important. I think our pitching got better as the weekend went on, cutting runs down, and our bats will speed up. That's just sometimes baseball, softball, you start slow on offense, and that's that. And it's good to see that our pitching got better as the weekend went on, and I think we'll be fine going through the season.
I talked to Coach a week or two ago, and she told me, she said, we're not expecting to go down there and win all 5, but we're not expecting to lose all 5 either. And while they might have lost all 5, she just wants the team to compete. She knows that this team is different than last year's. You can't really compare the two right now. So she kind of knows that consistency will come as the season goes on. We're not expecting them to come out and pull out 5 wins against Power 5 schools right away.
Yeah,
that's just not in the cards right now.
Yeah, we're steadily improving. We're building towards conference play. I know it's cliche, but conference is what matters. So get there, get established. That's good. Up next we got the Troy Invitational, and the competition isn't that much lower. We've got Ole Miss, so a big SEC softball school, and the SEC loves their softball, so that'll be a test. We've got Troy. Troy's pretty good. I mean, they're probably a half step up from where we are, like conference-wise. And then we've got Nichols. So Nichols will be our first game where, we're probably equal as far as that. So I'd be really excited to see how we come out and play against them.
I think Sammy Miller's going to have a big weekend.
Yeah. Oh, is that your prediction for this week?
I'll say it. I think she's going to have a big weekend. I think she's going to get a home run.
Right.
I'll call it now.
A home run. Write it down, producer Ryan. Home run. Sammy Miller. Note that down. Just to be clear, my prediction from last week didn't work. So I'm 0-2 now, but Abby's getting in on it, so we'll compete and see who ends up winning. So softball, remember that. Sammy Miller home run. That's what we got to be looking for over the week. So we got track and field now. We had 3 meets, the Marshall Invitational, the Music City Challenge, and then we had one at Boston University. What happened at the Music City Challenge?
We broke some records, and we didn't just break some. We broke some old standing records. We had the women's 400 meters, Felicia Phillips. She beat out the time with a 55:33. That beat the indoor record set back in 2012. So a 10-year record broken. And then Phillips teamed up with Quantasia Perry, Alicia Riccio, and Anaya Matthews, and they took down the 4x400 relay record. They won with an ASUN best time, 3:46.63. That's a full second faster than the record that stood since 1990. So 32-year record gone. And then we still had others with their personal best. Riccio ran a 2:11 in the women's 800 meters, and we had some women's 3,000 meters crack top 5. So it was a good weekend for the team, and I think leading up to the ASUN championship, this is where the team needs to be. They need to be breaking these records, getting into top shape, so that way when they get to the ASUN tournament, they're ready to roll.
Yeah, so Boston, you've got athletes like Michael Jordan. You've got athletes like Muhammad Ali, Tom Brady, Ronda Rousey, GOATs, Tiger Woods. You can throw in Ahmed Jaziri into that. Go ahead and chisel his name in stone. He rewrote his name in our record books. He shattered his own school record in the men's 3,000 meters. He ran a 7:47.34. Now, this was a national race in Boston. He went up by himself. with one of our coaches, didn't take the team with him. This was like a cut your teeth, who are the elite of the elite in college running. He finished third overall in that race. He was the second collegiate finisher. He finished behind Notre Dame's Yared Naguse, who broke the NCAA record in the event. Yared is super elite. It's absurd. Jaziri is 7th. His time is 7th nationally now, but he's only 2 seconds off a second. So he's right in there, and it's yet another big race as he tunes up for conference competition. Another important note from that, he qualified for the World Championships, so that's good. And then he's going to get to compete at the World. So it's a pretty big deal that EKU has a guy that's going to go in the World Championships this year.
Just want to clarify here, producer Ryan. Michael Jordan's not from Boston.
Oh, Michael Jordan's not from Boston.
No, sorry. Just quick clarification there.
But he went to Boston a few times and really imposed his authority there.
Neither is Muhammad Ali.
No, the meat was in Boston. The meat was in Boston.
We've got a lot of goats.
We've got a lot of goats like Ahmed Jaziri. The meat was in Boston.
Jaziri he will go down as the best runner at EKU.
Yeah, you can.
There's no doubt.
Yeah. But no, Michael Jordan's not from Boston. No.
Yep.
So women's golf, so track's going well. We're off this week. We have the indoor championships February 25th and 26th in Lynchburg, Virginia. That's going to be huge for us. It's the first time the ASUN's doing an indoor championship, so hopefully we go in and impose our will in that first one. I think with the women, we could win it. Our throwers and our field events are starting to come on too. So I feel like we could compete, and maybe the women could get a win there. So that's something to look out for. So moving on, we've got women's golf. Up next, they travel to the First Coast Classic on February, so today and then the 15th in Jacksonville, Florida. Lucky for them, spending Valentine's Day in Florida. There are 11 teams in the event. 7 are ranked in the top 140 nationally. So this is a very competitive tournament. The teams are going to play 36 holes on Monday and 18 on Tuesday. It's their first tournament this semester.
They've had 3 first-place finishes already in the fall. They won the Redbird Invitational, they won the Lady Red Wolves Classic, and the Terrier Intercollegiate. So they've got the wins under the belt. They've got some strong women out there putting up good runs for the team, and we're ranked 114th nationally.
Yeah, we could compete. I feel like I'm excited to see how we do. You know, it's good to go to just like with softball. It's good to go to a competition where there's some high level talent and just kind of cut our teeth on it and see where we go.
It really tests just how good this team is. You know, sometimes we don't get the full picture nationally by playing just the teams in our conference or just around here. We really need to go to these tournaments, play against these top teams, and I think we'll come out at least top 5.
Yeah, we'll come out swinging. Good Lord,
I'm feeling confident about this team.
Wow, it's not just this team. You're throwing predictions out left and right. See,
I got to catch up.
Yeah, see, I told her that she needed to do some predictions, and then she starts doing homework on, like, everything, and all of a sudden is trying to make me look
I've got to win.
Yeah, you know, so I feel a little less confident about me and my own predictions. So that's good. We've got men's golf too. They play in the Invitational at Savannah Harbor in Savannah, Georgia, at the club at Savannah Harbor. A lot of Savannah, a lot of Harbor.
Not sure where it's at. Can you tell me again?
Yeah, I think it's in Savannah. That's their second tournament this semester. They've already finished third at the Silver Lakes Tri-Match on February 6th.
Got any predictions there?
For men's golf, you know what? I think we'll go top 5. We'll be competitive. You know, I don't know. I don't play golf. I don't know much about it. But I think we'll do well.
We've got baseball starting their season on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We've got a trip down to Macon, Georgia to play Mercer. And Mercer finished 35-22 last year. We've only played this team 3 times, and that was a weekend back in 2018, and we dropped all 3. But this is a new team, new year, and Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I do have a prediction for this.
All
So
right.
I had dinner with him Tuesday, and then I had dinner with him Wednesday too. I think Sebastian Grisha he's gonna go yard in one of these games. I can feel it. You know, he's great. He's got great power. So he'll get a hold of one, and you know, it might even leave the ballpark for all we know. But I'm very positive that he's gonna hit one out. He told me he would. So, you know, that's good.
Yeah, nice junior college transfer in. He's looking to make an impact here.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of our team, though. And I feel like that's something we've got going for us. We've got a lot of guys that are hungry, that have come up through junior college, and they're going to be looking to prove themselves. So we're going to be locked in for every game this year, and I think that's going to show in our record.
Well, we've got a good week of sports coming up. Got any final predictions you want to put in?
So, you know, I'm going to stop with the get 20 because we just don't have a guy on the men's side. We just don't have a person get 20. So for North Alabama, I'll say, well, for us to win that one, I think Jamaru will end up leading us in scoring, and he'll also get at least 4 assists. And he kind of puts a statement down. He says, "All right, guys, I've got it. Follow me." And I think we got him on the podcast last week talking about how he's going to step up and be a leader. I think he puts that down against North Alabama, and then we take off from there. So that'd be my big prediction.
I'll take a prediction for the women's side for North Alabama. I predict that Bria Bass is going to get another double-double.
Oh, wow, that's so ambitious of you.
I know.
It's not like she gets double-doubles every week. Okay.
She had 18 and 18 against them last time. I don't think she's going to slow down.
Yeah, be a little more ambitious next time. Go out.
I got to even my record up, you know.
That's fair.
Got to start out safe.
Yeah.
We'll get more ambitious as it goes, but right now I got to just catch up.
Yeah.
0-2, not hard to catch up from.
Yeah, so Bria Bass double-double, and then Jamaru leads us in scoring and assists. So those are the predictions for the week. Feel free to make your own.
Yeah. Well, that's everything that I've got. You got anything else to add, Zach?
No, I think that about covers it for this week.
All right. Well, be sure to check us out at easternprogress.com for daily content updates, and keep following us on Twitter at SportsEP for game updates as we go along this week. And happy Valentine's Day to all of our listeners, and I hope you have a great day and a great week.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.